Well, the town is out of electric. It's been out of electric since last night. Oh, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock. I said last night, last afternoon. 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, somewhere around there. We didn't get much rain. I mean, you know, here's the significance of our rain here. So, it wasn't a lot. But boy, the wind was terrible. They say it was 70 miles an hour, and the whole area, probably maybe even 100-mile radius, is out of electric. So Carolyn wants to do laundry today, so I'm not really sure what to do with us being out of electric here in town. So I guess I'm going to try to see. We got an electric well, and then she has her wash machine, so we'll give it a try. See, maybe the electric's back on by now. The fans for us ran all night. The freezer ran all night. So hopefully this is just a fluke, you know, that somebody else in town isn't, you know, I can hear generators running in the distance. So let's try this out. Oh no, look, the well's running. That's great news. I'm kind of making fun of the trolls. The trolls always ask me, what's the point in living off grid? You got a electric pole right over there. Just hook up to that. It's a lot cheaper than doing what you're doing. Except they have $300 worth of food in the freezer. So we still have to have the generator. And the electric has went out probably every month, maybe twice a month since this year. So, and it's just, they're staying out longer and longer because the storms are just ripping trees up. So anyway, she's in there doing laundry, and I just filled this up in between cycles. But I live in an area where you have full-time residents. They live here all year long, summer and winter. And then you have the summer home people. They have a summer home here. Now, around the lake, it used to be people buy property, and it was they come out with their tents or their campers, you know, back in the 60s and the 70s. And they'd stay at the lake, go fishing. But then they started building these huge homes, beautiful homes, $1 million homes, or $2 million homes. I mean, they're just amazing. And I think, why would you buy or build, either way, a home that fancy that you're going to stay in one weekend, on the weekends throughout the summer? And you manicure lawns, and it's just high maintenance costs. And the thing is from what I can tell, most people don't keep their homes, their second homes here, more than 5 years. And it just seems logical to me. I would never, even if I had all the money in the world, I probably wouldn't get a second home, summer home. I probably wouldn't do it. It would just be too much of a headache. You got to have double of everything, first of all. And you want to set up security cameras, or here's a service that I think it would go really well around here. And if I was younger, I may do it. I may have done it. But offer these folks some sort of security or something. I don't know what, I'd have to, really nail it down. It wouldn't be like robbery security, but security like, storm damage, So what you would do is once a week, you would drive around to all the houses that you were contracted to look after. You go in, you inspect the plumbing, you make sure the water's running, if it freezes or if the heater shuts off, or you would give the homeowner a heads up, hey, there's a problem here. Of course, they may say, hey, can you take care of that? And then, of course, they'd send you a check or money or Vimo or whatever they use nowadays. You would hire a contractor to come out and fix it. You'd have the keys. I think it'd be a great business opportunity, but nobody does it. The only type of businesses that people start around here is cleaning. They clean these rich homes and lawn cutting. So, again, I don't want to do it. So, but I think it would be a great business opportunity for somebody. But I just can't see owning a second home. It would just be too much for me. I wouldn't want the hassle with it. Just all that extra stuff that you'd be constantly dealing with, just so you can come down to go boating on the weekends in the summer. And you know, they're so rich, these people, and I don't have a problem with rich people. I actually think it's kind of cool that people are having an opportunity in the United States to be rich. You know, actually, I consider myself rich. I may not be financially as successful as they are, but I feel like I have a fulfilled life, a rich life, and I don't worry about money and all that kind of stuff. But you know, these people, you know, I get on Facebook, especially in the summertime, and I'm always saying to Carolyn, explain to me how you tell me that you're rich. That's what I say. Tell me that you're rich without actually saying you're rich. Because it's hilarious. These people are just, they ooze money and they want everybody to know it. Last night, someone said, my ZX1 to 5000 blah, 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 Corvette won't shift into drive. It's stuck in, and I need a mobile mechanic to go out in such location and fix it. Money is no issue, whatever it costs. I'm not stranded. My boyfriend picked me up in his Corvette. Why couldn't you just say, hey, my car broke down, and if somebody come out and fix it, I'd appreciate it. No, I've got a Z, and my boyfriend's got even a better one. And then she shows a picture of the two Corvettes, and she snuggled up against the boyfriend on the hood of one. I thought, my goodness, that's just oozing money. And the thing is, they come out here, you know, the community is really poor. The people that live here all year round, they're extremely poor. But they come out here, and I don't even know if they realize the poor community exists out here, or if they think that, you know, we're just subservient, you know, like the dog, or you know, maybe a farm animal. You know, maybe that's all we're good for, because they'll use the heck out of us. Yeah, I need my house cleaned. I need someone to mow, and I need a dedicated person who's going to show up twice a week and do all the labor. And you know, 16,000 hours a week you got to be here, and I pay based on performance. You're not here. So what difference does it make? Who are you showing off to? I don't know. You know, another one. Let's see. Oh, here. Tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich. Well, the power is down, and we need to go home because it's Sunday. Does anybody have a small generator I could borrow just for a minute? Because I want to make sure that my boat is out of the water while we're gone, and my boat lift won't work without electricity. Has somebody got something? And the thing is, you know, of course, all the people live here year round. Yeah, I got one. And the thing is, when you go over there, I mean, heck, when we go over there, they talk behind your back. You can tell that they just disdain the idea that a poor person just pulled up to their billion-dollar home. But yeah, that's, you know, when I go and get the lawnmowers. Oh, the disgust on their little faces. Oh, they're just so embarrassed that the neighbors are seeing this old pickup truck picking up a lawn, their John Deere lawnmower. So it's the thing is they do try to skimp on money. You know, I say John Deere lawnmower. They buy the John Deere because it's green and yellow, and you know, you got to have that if you're going to live in $1 billion home, right? But they're like 20 years old. They're old, and they got all kinds of problems. But they don't want their neighbors to know. They keep the hood all nice and shiny. I mean, I had one guy, I need a new hood. Okay, well, do you want to, like, you know, fix the belt? No, just the hood. They want that shiny hood. They'll live with the mechanical issues. But they don't want to spend a bunch of money on their second lawnmower. Not down here, because it's going to sit in the garage all year. You know, they barely use it. But then they'll say, do you work on bad boy 65-inch lawnmower, or whatever you size? 0 turns? I got one up at home that I'd like to bring down to you. Yeah, I'll work on them. Yeah, I'll have to find somebody with a trailer. Yes, I know you're rich, and I know you have a bad boy 0 turn 60,000-inch lawnmower up there in Kansas City. I get it. Yeah, you got a great job. Give me your business card, of course, you know, because it's just too hard for you to fill out a tag. So you give me your business card and all your information, and you're some sort of hotshot up there. But, you know, just had another one. With all the electrical outages, do you think it's a wise investment to get a generator? I know they can be pricey, but I think it might be worth it. With all the power outages we've had recently. Oh, yeah, we know. You know, you can't buy a little generator that's going to keep your freezer running, and, you know, some of the little things. Or a window air conditioner. Oh no, you can't have a window air conditioner. Not out of those billion-dollar homes. Not even in an emergency. Don't think about it. No, that's. I'd rather sweat to death and die before I get one of those. There's somebody that pulled up across the street in a power outage. That has me concerned. Yeah, they're getting out. Wonder if they want their lawnmower repaired. Ugh. They're using. They're using the dumpster. Boy, the irony is thick. So, the person who runs that building across the street has asked me to watch out for people who are dumping trash in the dumpster. And I've caught a few people, and we have pretty much gotten people to stop doing it. I haven't seen anybody do it in maybe over a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's been a long time since anybody's done it. We put up no loitering signs, and she's gotten on Facebook and has told lots of people not to do it. So I've only had to stop one person, like I said, about 2 years ago. So an old beater truck pull up a few times, and I asked her what she wanted me to do about it. She says, you know, if you can catch him, you know, that'd be great. So I walked over there, and I was real polite. I pulled up to his passenger. I walked up to his passenger window in case, you know, he got mad or anything. And I said, yeah, you know, they don't like us dumping in the dumpster over there, because when they need to use it and it's all full, then they can't use it, and so the trash just sits for a couple weeks inside the building, and then it rots and stinks. And well, he got mad, of course, spun his tires backwards and got the trash out of the dumpster and spun his tires and left the building. More cars are pulling up. I tell you, huge traffic. I don't know what's going on. Ton of traffic. Oh, those are just turning around. So, anyway, so just a few minutes ago, when I shut the camera off, there was a guy over there, and he pulled in, and I stood up there, and I even said on the camera, oh, somebody's dumping trash into the dumpster. So I went up there with my camera, and I took a snapshot of them coming down the hill, and then I was going to get a snapshot of their license plate. Of course, they didn't have a license plate on the front, which means they're from out of state, because Missouri requires a license plate from on both sides, on front and back. So I was going to wait until he got up the hill a little bit, and I was going to snap a picture of his license plate. And he stops, and he says, hey, and he says my name, you caught me. And I looked up from the phone, and sure enough, it was one of my customers. He's one of the rich guys that owns a second home down here. See, they think that they have privilege. And I said, yeah. And so I explained the whole thing, that the dumpster fills up and they don't have any room to put stuff into the dumpster. Now here's the thing, is you can drive 15 miles the other way and you can pay $5 a bag. Carolyn and I have done it several times. You know, we'll get metal and glass, you know, when we were cleaning up the yard. And we get several bags of garbage that we couldn't burn, so we took it down there, $5 a bag. And they got like 10 dumpsters, so you can just throw these in. And it's just real handy. But they do it because the rich people, they don't want, you know, rich people going around filling up all the dumpsters. So you would think, him being rich, he could have just gone down there and paid the $5 for his, you know, however many bags he had. So anyway, I explained that. He says, well, I didn't think she'd mind because I donate. So now, you know, once again, his money buys him privilege. You know, how do you say I'm rich without telling everybody you're rich? Well, just like that. You make it really awkward for the people who live here full time. You know, we're trying to control a situation that gets out of hand. I'm trying to, you know, work on lawnmowers. And the rich people have put me and her in a situation that we have to think, well, yeah, I guess we're going to have to let them dump because, you know, they donate. Thing is I've donated over there, and I don't dump over there. I understand it's not a big dumpster, and I've seen that thing overflow after, you know, an event over there. So it's I don't know. Like I said at the beginning, I don't have a huge problem with rich people. I have a huge problem with rich people coming into poor towns and showing their status. That same individual has said, I sure like to see billionaires come down here and buy up all that land, make something of this place. There is something to this place. It's called the people who live here love it, and we want to be left alone. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take the video over my other channel. I really appreciate it. Go check it out. And it'll be a brand new video today, so I hope I can inspire you. I don't know. Don't brag. Sing live your dreams. Thanks for watching.